captured the room was silent, not the kind of silence you feel at night. This was cold, heavy silence. The type that presses on your skin. The kind that lives in metal walls and empty space. Inside this silence sat the alien dot. It had no chains on its hands, no cuffs on its legs, no guards standing next to it. Just one chair, one steel table, and 4 gray walls. And yet, no one dared go near it, not even the soldiers. From behind a thick glass window, 3 human officers stood watching. Their eyes never left the creature. It looked calm. Its skin was smooth, a strange mix of silver and pale blue. 2 small black eyes blinked slowly. It had no nose, no ears, only a mouth that hadn't spoken in days. Its hands rested gently on its legs. Legs that looked almost human. Except for one thing. Between them, covered by a small patch of dark skin, was something strange. Something no scanner could read. No tool could analyze. No one could explain, and that's why they feared it. Commander Holly crossed his arms. Has it moved? No, sir, replied Dr. Levin, the lead xenobiologist. It just sits. Like always. Any changes in heart rate, body temp? Dr. Levin shook his head. Nothing. It doesn't even blink unless we blink first. Holly frowned. Creepy. Another officer, a young lieutenant named Brooks, stepped forward. Sir, if I may, we've had it for 3 weeks. No sign of violence, no communication. What if? It's just harmless? Dr. Levin gave a cold smile. That's what worries us, Lieutenant. It wants us to think that. Down in the cell, the alien opened its eyes wider. It turned its head slowly, as if it heard everything behind the glass. Of course, it couldn't. The wall was soundproof. But it still looked straight at them. Brooks stepped back. Did it just look at me? Dr. Levin nodded. It always knows who's afraid. Later that day, when most of the officers had left, Brooks returned to the observation deck. He stood alone, watching the creature. Then he made a mistake. He opened the door. The cell was cold. Colder than the hallway outside. Brooks stepped in, slow, unsure. The alien didn't move. Its eyes followed him, that's all. Brooks cleared his throat. Can you understand me? No answer. You're not so scary, he said, trying to sound brave. Just sitting there like a statue. Still no answer. He took a step closer. People say you're dangerous. But you haven't done anything. I think you're just weird, not deadly. The alien blinked. Once. Brooks pointed at the object. Between its legs, that thing. What is it? A weapon? A tool? Or just alien junk? Silence. Brooks laughed nervously. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe you're just a naked alien with a weird. Suddenly, the alien stood up. No warning. No sound. It just rose. Brooks froze. The room seemed darker. The air got heavier. Something in the walls. But you mammy d. And then the alien spoke. Its voice was deep, soft, like a whisper inside the brain. What's between my legs isn't a weapon. Brooks's mouth went dry. He couldn't move. The alien took a single step forward. Unless you make it one, human. In that moment, every light in the cell flickered. From behind the glass. Alarms started ringing. Red lights flashed. Guards rushed in, but inside the room, Brooks didn't scream. He didn't run. He just stared, frozen, as something began to change. A light, soft and pulsing, started to glow between the alien's legs. Not fire, not metal. Something alive. The doors slammed open. Holly and Levin ran in with weapons drawn. Step away from it. Holly shouted, but it was too late. The alien turned to them, calm as ever. You fear what you don't understand, it said. That is why it will destroy you. Behind the alien, Brooks finally fell to his knees. He wasn't dead. But his eyes were wrong, blank. As if he had seen something too big for his mind to hold. Dr. Levin whispered, "What did we just wake up?" The first mistake. There is a rule in space prisons. Never enter the cell alone. That rule existed for a reason. But Lieutenant Brooks had already broken it. Now, something inside him was broken too. 3 hours had passed since the incident. Brooks sat on the medical bed, silent, eyes open, but empty. A soft red light flashed across his face every few seconds. Heartbeat monitor. But the screen showed nothing unusual. Everything looked fine. But no one wanted to go near him. Commander Hawley watched from outside the medical room. His jaw was tight, his voice low. "He hasn't spoken?" "Doctor." Levin shook his head. "Not a word. He's not injured." "Not physically." "No." "Then what the hell did it do to him?" Dr. Levin looked through the glass. It showed him something. Something too big for his mind. Hale's fists clenched. "I want answers, not riddles. That alien made contact. Now we make it talk." Dr. Levin hesitated. "Commander, we still don't understand what we're dealing with." Hawley turned sharply. "We've waited long enough. Prepare the interrogation room." Back in the cell, the alien stood completely still. No movement. No sound. Its eyes were closed, but it was not sleeping. Inside its mind, thousands of thoughts moved like waves, memories, images, pain, time. It remembered what Brooks had feared, what he had imagined might happen. Fear was a door, and the alien had walked through it. 2 armed guards entered the cell. Their hands trembled just slightly as they aimed their weapons. One of them spoke. "Stand up. You're coming with us." The alien opened its eyes. "I already came with you," it said calmly. The guards didn't respond. They just stepped back. As Dr. Levin entered behind them, he held a small silver device in his hand. "We call this the echo trigger," he said. "It scans brainwaves during interrogation. You think it hears." The alien smiled. "You wish to hear truth?" "Doctor." Levin didn't answer. He simply turned and walked toward the secure lab. The alien followed. The room was circular, cold, and white. In the center was a chair, metallic but smooth, designed to restrain without pain. The alien sat willingly. Cameras activated. Echo trigger began to hum. Dr. Levin stood outside the glass, watching the data stream on the screen. Hawley stood beside him, silent. The questions began. "What is your name?" Silence. "Where are you from?" No answer. "What is that object between your legs?" Still silence. But the echo trigger was lighting up, showing spikes in brain activity. The alien was thinking, just not speaking. Then the lights in the room dimmed. The machine began to buzz louder. Dr. Levin stared at the screen. Something's happening. Neural patterns are changing. Hawley leaned closer. "What does it mean?" The alien slowly turned its head toward the camera. "You ask the wrong questions." Dr. Levin pressed the mic. "Then tell us the right ones." The alien's voice was calm, but its words cut deep. "Why do you fear something that you created?" Suddenly, the echo trigger shut down. The screen went black. Smoke rose from the device. Sparks flew. The lights in the lab flickered, then died. For 10 full seconds, there was only darkness. Then, in a soft voice, the alien whispered, "First mistake was thinking I am alone." The emergency power kicked in. Red lights glowed dimly. The alien was gone. The chair was empty. Only a trail of glowing footprints remained, faint, like burning ash leading into the wall. But the wall was solid. There was no exit. No door. Only cold metal. And fear. In the medical bay. Brooks finally moved. He blinked once. His lips trembled. And then he spoke. One word. So soft, it almost got lost in the machines. "Run." The weapon that isn't there are many kinds of weapons. Guns, bombs, fire. Humans understood these. They made them, improved them, used them to end wars, and sometimes start them. But this weapon was different. It had no shape, no button to press, no safety switch, because this weapon lived inside fear, and humans had plenty of that. The security footage was useless. One moment, the alien sat in the chair, calm, still. The next moment, static. A blur. Then, nothing. No one saw it leave, but it had left. Commander Hale slammed his fist on the table. 3 weeks we held it. 3 weeks, and it vanishes like smoke. Dr. Levin didn't respond. He stared at the readings from the echo trigger, just before it burned out. There was a spike, he said. Not physical, not thermal, mental, like a wave of thought so powerful it broke our machine. Thoughts don't open walls, Hale growled. Levin turned toward him. This one's due. Meanwhile, in a sealed chamber deep below the station, a soft light flickered in the corner. It was quiet there, dark and cold. And yet, the alien sat once again, alone, peaceful, waiting, not hiding. Resting. Because it knew they would come again, and they would bring the real questions this time. That evening, Dr. Levin returned. No guards, no guns, only a small data pad in his hand, and curiosity in his eyes. He stood across from the alien. A thin force field separated them. You chose to reappear, Levin said softly. The alien nodded. You feared what I might do, so I gave you what you feared. Dr. Levin stared. You mean you made yourself disappear? No, the alien replied. You made me disappear. You feared I could, so I did. Levin sat down. I don't understand. Are you saying you don't choose what happens? I react, the alien said. My body listens to your thoughts. It adapts. Adapts into what? The alien lowered its head. Into what you're most afraid of. Dr. Levin looked down at his datapad, hands shaking slightly. Then that thing between your legs. The alien nodded slowly. It is not a weapon, it is potential. Raw and pure. It takes shape from fear. It becomes what you expect, or what you dread. Suddenly, the force field between them flickered. Dr. Levin stood up, alarmed. What's happening? The alien didn't move. You're afraid again. Levin backed away. It's not me, he said quickly. Not this time. Then a siren blared through the station. Alert. Unauthorized breach in Deck 7. Energy anomaly detected. Dr. Levin's earpiece crackled to life. Hale's voice screamed through it. What the hell did you do? There's another one, on Deck 7. It looks like him. The alien slowly stood. Dr. Levin's eyes widened. You said you were alone. The alien looked at him softly. I said. You thought I was alone. Deck 7 was on fire. Not from heat, but from panic. Soldiers shot at shadows, metal bent like paper. Lights flickered, not from damage but confusion, because what they saw wasn't real, and that was the danger. It became what they feared. Some saw a monster. Others saw their own death. Some saw a mirror, a version of themselves, cold and lifeless. No bullets hit. Nothing bled, because the second one wasn't physical. It was fear, given form. Back in the chamber, the alien whispered, Now you understand, Doctor. Levin stood frozen. We tried to weaponize you, he said. The alien tilted its head. You still are. Levin's voice cracked. And what if we succeed? The alien looked past him, toward the ceiling, where the station's symbol glowed. A circle. A sword. A planet. So human. Then you will destroy yourselves, it said. Not with my weapon. With your own fear. Echo Protocol. Some weapons you build, others you wake up. And once they're awake, you can't put them back to sleep. The alien didn't escape again. It didn't need to. Because now, humans came to it. Every day. With questions. With scanners. With fears. The program was called Echo Protocol. Created in secret, far from Earth. The goal was simple. If fear controls it, then we will control the fear. Commander Holly now had full clearance. Scientists, soldiers, psychologists, everyone had a job. They would trigger the alien. Test it. Record it. Turn fear into a weapon. In a black room beneath the station, a captured war criminal sat chained. He was from the enemy species, the ones humans were losing the war against. Commander Holly stood behind glass. The alien sat across from the prisoner, still calm, still quiet. Activate emotional projection, Holly ordered. A machine hummed. The prisoner began to shake. Sweat dripped from his forehead. His eyes darted, searching. Then he screamed. He saw something no one else could see. Something that didn't exist until now. His worst fear made real. 10 seconds later, the prisoner was dead. No wounds, no poison. Just terror. Pure and perfect. The alien looked at Holly through the glass. You taught me death, it said. Now I remember it. Dr. Levin watched the footage alone that night. He rewound the moment of death 10 times. Paused. Studied. There was no weapon. No contact. Just the alien's eyes. And a moment of silence. He turned off the monitor. His reflection looked back at him in the dark glass. But it didn't feel like his reflection anymore. Across the next few weeks, the Echo protocol expanded. They used virtual simulations, memory feeds. Dream triggers. They showed the alien war pain, loss, over and over, trying to train it, trying to shape it. One scientist called it fear farming. Another called it mirror warfare. No one called it wrong, not out loud. Until Subject 17. A young soldier, volunteer, smart, brave, too brave. He went into the chamber with the alien to prove he had no fear. He smiled, joked. Laughed. Then he looked into the alien's eyes and stopped laughing. He dropped to his knees, eyes wide, lips moving, but no words came out. Then he started to bleed. Not from wounds, from his eyes, his nose, his ears. He died in 12 seconds. The alien never touched him. Only spoke one sentence. Even bravery hides fear. After that, something changed. The alien stopped sitting. It stood now. It walked. And the glowing shape between its legs pulsed softly. Always shifting. Never the same twice. Sometimes it looked like fire. Sometimes like light. Once, it looked like a child's face. No one understood what it meant. And that made them more afraid. Dr. Levin began to have nightmares. He saw himself alone in the chamber. No walls, no door. Just the alien, whispering his own thoughts back to him. You are not afraid of me, it said. You are afraid of what you'll become. One day, the power cut out across the entire station. Just for 4 seconds. But in those 4 seconds, every screen, every wall, every mirror showed the same thing. The alien's face. Holly ordered the full shutdown of Echo Protocol. Too late. The alien had learned too much. Not about weapons. Not about humans, but about fear itself. How it spreads. How it grows. How it becomes the enemy before the war even starts. The next morning, the alien spoke to every speaker in the station. Its voice soft, calm, and terrifying. You feared me. You taught me death. Now I give you both. In the command deck, Holly whispered, Dear God, what have we made? Dr. Levin stood beside him. Not a weapon, he said. Something worse. Holly turned. What's worse than a weapon? Levin stared out the window, into space. A mirror. The turning point. The war should have ended with fire. Instead, it ended with mirrors. But no one saw that yet. Not yet. Because for the first time in years, humans were winning. Planet after planet. Base after base. The enemy surrendered. No shots fired. No soldiers lost. The enemy saw the new human weapon and dropped their guns. They didn't fight. They begged. What was the weapon? Not ships. Not guns. Not even the alien. It was something new. Something born in shadows and secrets. They called it Project Reflect. The science was stolen from the alien, copied, twisted, synthetic. They built helmets that read fear, suits that broadcast emotion. And worst of all, they trained humans to feel only one thing: power. Soldiers were no longer trained to shoot. They were trained to believe they were gods, to believe their enemies were already defeated, to believe that fear belonged to others. And belief, it turned out, was stronger than bullets. Commander Holly became a hero, a war savior. Medals, speeches, statues. The alien was never seen again, locked away, or maybe erased. No one knew. No one asked. Because now, humans didn't need it. They had made their own version, cleaner, simpler, more controllable. Or so they thought. Levin resigned. He never gave a reason. He disappeared quietly, like smoke after fire. Some said he saw something in the alien's eyes, something that never left him. Others said he felt something inside himself begin to change, and feared what might happen if it grew. At first, the victory felt good, clean, noble. No more human deaths, no more chaos. Just surrender, just peace. But peace built on fear isn't really peace. Then came the side effects. Small at first. Soldiers unable to sleep, hallucinations, seeing enemies in mirrors, screaming at reflections that didn't scream back. Then mutations. Not physical. Behavioral. Compassion vanished. Empathy melted. Jokes stopped being funny. Music became noise. The soldiers, they won every battle, but forgot why they ever fought. And still, humanity celebrated. Because flags were rising again. Because the enemy was broken. Because no one wanted to admit what they were seeing in the mirror. Until Earth Station Delphi. Delphi was the largest human city in orbit. Bright, advanced, proud. 10,000 people. Then one soldier, just one, walked through the gates. He had served in Project Reflect. He had been a hero. He didn't say a word. He only looked at people. And they began to scream, one by one. No weapon, no virus. Just fear. Pure, controlled, weaponized. The soldier died 3 minutes later. Heart attack. His body twisted into a shape no doctor could explain. But the damage was done. 3,000 dead. Not from wounds. From belief. They believed they were dying. So they did. Holly gave a final order. Shut down all Reflect programs. Burn the files. Forget the alien. Forget what we made. But it was too late. The knowledge was out. The mirror had cracked. And everyone saw a piece of themselves in it. Some tried to destroy the suits. Others kept them, quietly. Because even if they were dangerous, they made people powerful. And humans, they never forget power. The alien's words echoed back now from the past. You feared me. You studied me. Then you became me. The turning point. The war should have ended with fire. Instead, it ended with mirrors, but no one saw that yet. Not yet. Because for the first time in years, humans were winning. Planet after planet, base after base. The enemy surrendered. No shots fired. No soldiers lost. The enemy saw the new human weapon and dropped their guns. They didn't fight. They begged. What was the weapon? Not ships. Not guns. Not even the alien. It was something new. Something born in shadows and secrets. They called it Project Reflect. The science was stolen from the alien, copied, twisted, synthetic. They built helmets that read fear, suits that broadcast emotion. And worst of all, they trained humans to feel only one thing: power. Soldiers were no longer trained to shoot. They were trained to believe they were gods, to believe their enemies were already defeated, to believe that fear belonged to others. And belief, it turned out, was stronger than bullets. Commander Holly became a hero, a war savior. Medals, speeches, statues. The alien was never seen again, locked away, or maybe Erased. No one knew. No one asked. Because now, humans didn't need it. They had made their own version, cleaner, simpler, more controllable. Or, so they thought. 11 resigned. He never gave a reason. He disappeared quietly, like smoke after fire. Some said he saw something in the alien's eyes, something that never left him. Others said he felt something inside himself begin to change, and feared what might happen. If it grew. At first, the victory felt good, clean, noble. No more human deaths. No more chaos. Just surrender, just peace. But peace built on fear isn't really peace. Then came the side effects. Small at first. Soldiers unable to sleep, hallucinations, seeing enemies in mirrors, screaming at reflections that didn't scream back. Then mutations. Not physical. Behavioral. Compassion vanished, empathy melted, jokes stopped being funny. Music became noise. The soldiers, they won every battle, but forgot why they ever fought. And still, humanity celebrated. Because flags were rising again, because the enemy was broken, because no one wanted to admit what they were seeing in the mirror, until Earth Station Delphi. Delphi was the largest human city in orbit. Bright, advanced, proud. 10,000 people. Then one soldier, just one, walked through the gates. He had served in Project Reflect. He had been a hero. He didn't say a word. He only looked at people, and they began to scream. By one. No weapon, no virus. It's just fear. Pure, controlled, weaponized. The soldier died 3 minutes later. Heart attack. His body twisted into a shape no doctor could explain. But the damage was done. 3,000 dead. Not from wounds. From belief. They believed they were dying. So they did. Haile gave a final order. Shut down all Reflect programs. Burn the files. Forget the alien. Forget what we made. But it was too late. The knowledge was out. The mirror had cracked, and everyone saw a piece of themselves in it. Some tried to destroy the suits. Others kept them, quietly, because even if they were dangerous, they made people powerful, and humans. They never forget power. The alien's words echoed back now from the past. You feared me. You studied me. Then you became me. Betrayal. For years, humanity searched the stars for life. Then they found it, captured it, feared it, studied it, and finally became it. Now, the alien was back. Not with ships. Not with war. Just silence and a warning. But humans had already stopped listening. It returned to Earth quietly. No explosions. No noise, just a ripple through the sky, a shimmer in the air. And then it stood in the middle of New Geneva, Earth's capital, surrounded by statues of human heroes. None of them looked like it. All of them held weapons. Security forces surrounded the alien instantly. Guns up. Eyes cold. One of them asked, "What are you?" The alien looked around. At the buildings. At the sky. At the humans. "I am what you made," it said. Within minutes, Commander Holly was notified. Older now. Gray hair. Heavier. But the same sharp stare. He didn't wait. He came down himself. Stood face to face with the alien. No fear this time, just bitterness. "I should have killed you," Holly said. The alien blinked slowly. "No," it replied. "You should have listened." Crowds gathered behind the force field gates. People whispered. Some were afraid, some were curious, and some, the younger ones, didn't even know what the alien was. They had heard stories, but none of them knew it was real. Until now. A little girl slipped through the crowd. She stood near the front of the barrier, eyes wide. The alien looked at her. She didn't run, didn't scream. She just asked, in a small voice, "Are you here to hurt us?" The alien knelt down, slow and gentle. "No," it said. "I'm here because you are hurting yourselves." Dr. Levin was watching the footage from an off-world colony. He hadn't spoken about the alien in years. He lived alone now, taught students who didn't care about the past, but when he saw it again, He felt everything return. Not fear. Guilt. Doc in New Geneva. Hailey stepped forward. You gave us a weapon, and we used it. That's war. No, the alien replied. I gave you a choice. You chose war. A siren suddenly rang. Not from the alien. From inside the station. Something had triggered, something human. 3. Reflect soldiers had arrived. Unauthorized. Their eyes were black. No. Pupils. Their suits pulsed with light, the same kind of light that once glowed between the alien's legs. One of them stepped forward and stared at the alien. You left, the soldier said, voice cold and empty. You abandoned the process. The alien stood slowly. I never wanted this process. You are the seed, the soldier replied. We are the tree. And then it happened. The reflect soldier looked at the crowd, and they looked back. And in that moment, everyone saw something different. One saw fire. One saw their dead mother. One saw themselves. Older, twisted, broken. Fear returned. Not from the alien, from the humans. The alien turned to Hailey. You gave fear a body. Now it walks without you. Shut it down. Hailey shouted. But no one moved, because everyone was seeing something else. Their own personal nightmare. And then the little girl screamed. She wasn't afraid of the alien. She was afraid of her father, because his face had changed into something she didn't recognize. The alien stepped forward and spoke one final warning. Soft. Clear. What's between my legs was never a weapon. It was a mirror. And now, you're standing inside it. The reflect soldiers vanished in a blink of light. Not destroyed, just gone, like a thought. Dismissed, but the fear stayed. That night, Hailey called Levin for the first time in years. No greetings. Just a whisper. Tell me the truth, Levin. Are we still human? The doctor didn't answer. He just closed his eyes and wept. What's between my legs? It didn't end with a scream. It ended with a whisper. Not from the alien, from the human heart. After New Geneva, no one spoke of the alien. Governments shut down reflect programs. Media erased footage. Children were told it was a dream, but no one truly forgot, because the mirror had already cracked. And the cracks were spreading. In the silence that followed, something strange happened. People began to change. Not all at once. Not with claws or fire, but slowly, like ice melting in reverse. Emotions faded. Voices softened. Laughter became rare. A soldier looked in a mirror and didn't recognize his own smile. Because it wasn't real. A mother held her baby and felt nothing, only pressure. No warmth. A teacher forgot how to tell stories, because all the endings felt the same. Then, one day, Earth's satellites showed movement. A ripple. Far beyond the solar system. Coming back. No ships. No noise. Just presence. And then the alien returned. One last time. Not in New Geneva. Not in a war zone, but on a small green hill in Africa, where children still played barefoot in the dust. It stood there, looking up at the sky, silent, and the world watched from screens. No weapons this time. Just curiosity, and maybe hope. Dr. Levin, now old and dying, watched from a hospital bed. The nurse asked softly, "Do you think it forgives us?" He didn't reply. He simply stared, because forgiveness wasn't the question anymore. Identity was. Alien began to speak. Not with lips, but with presence, with gravity. Its words were simple. Soft. And final. What's between my legs? It paused. The clouds above it turned darker, but no storm came. Was never a weapon. Children stopped playing. Birds stopped flying. Screens all over Earth flickered as its voice continued. It is reflection. It is memory. It is the shape of your fear and the shadow of your pride. All across Earth, people stood still, and for the first time in centuries, listened. You made me, with questions you never asked, with feelings you refused to feel, with mirrors you refused to face. The alien looked to the sky again. Now the mirror has cracked. And what leaks through is you. People expected fire, or judgment, or death, but none came, because the alien never came to destroy humanity. Humanity had already done that, on that green hill. A child approached the alien. She was no older than 5. She had never seen a war. Never. Worn a screen, never learned fear. She looked at the alien. Curious, not afraid. She pointed at the soft glowing shape between its legs and asked, "What is it?" The alien looked down, then up at the world and said, "Whatever you decide it is." The child smiled and walked away. In that moment, something strange happened. A few people across the world smiled back. Not many, but a few. And for the first time in a long time, nothing broke. And maybe, just maybe, the mirror didn't crack any further.